It's the SKOR North Twins Show. Baseball.
All right, SKOR North Twins Show. I haven't busted it out, but do we have to bust out the Don't Let Twins Get Hot meter? Because they have won 3 of 4. They just took a series against division-leading Tigers. A much-deserved off day today. 3 games against KC this weekend. Are the Twins hot? Are the Twins getting hot?
I mean, they're definitely inching up on the hot-o-meter. They don't let the Twins get hot-o-meter. And don't look now. But they've shaved the gap between Twins and Tigers now to 11 games. It's down one more good weekend. Tigers stumble. You get that thing to single digits. Anything can happen in the last 7 weeks of a Major League Baseball season.
How frustrating is this that they built such a bad roster that they had to tear it apart in an American League that has no one who's that good?
I mean, yeah, you're right about no one being that good.
I mean,
the Central.
Toronto's pretty damn good. Toronto's 20 games over 500. They are crushing opponents lately.
But they're
Houston's solid. Seattle's good.
But they're not a juggernaut. There's no, and the American League Central is a complete joke. My God. And Detroit, by the way, is Detroit. Ooh. And you went and got Chris Paddock?
It kind of felt like Detroit came out of the gate way hotter than like their actual talent level.
Correct.
Like they're a feisty, good team.
Right.
They got hot last year.
Javi Baez like turned into his old self for a while.
Yeah, and they're kind of settling in, but they built such a big foundation and a lead there. But yeah, like this whole thing was, at least to get into a wild card spot, was eminently gettable, and to be out of reach before the trade deadline. And maybe it winds up being a blessing in disguise, and that, okay, you kind of wipe the slate clean. And I know Declan's going to we're going to turn this to some positivity here, it sounds like today, because we've been hammering this team. And there are some fun things to watch. But I am still the biggest puzzle piece long-term for what are they really planning here beyond 2025 is, do you trade or hang on to Joe Ryan in the offseason? If you trade him, now we're kind of officially going into a reset mode. If not, you could make a case that if a couple young, like if Keaschall keeps hitting, Austin Martin with his annual home run too. That was nice to see. Good timing for that.
God.
Let's go.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys 5 things to watch with a little bit of a Judd asterisk. I put my own spin on the 5 things. So I took something and decided to make it my own thing. But there are 5 things to watch, 5 players basically to watch, to keep your eye on if you're a Twins fan between now and the end of the season. Okay. Disclaimers. These are all either players on the Major League roster or at AAA. So I am drawing a line in the sand. Yep. I'm not talking about Walker Jenkins today, at least. I'm not talking about Kalen Culpepper today. I'm not talking about some of the other prospects they got in the trade deadline last week. I'm going to draw a line, and that could actually be a future episode. What are things to be excited about in the future for Twins territory? In this exercise, we are strictly sticking with guys on the 26-man roster or just down the road in St. Paul.
Are these guys that we could potentially also see next month as well? Because it feels like there's guys in St. Paul that we're going to see in September.
I think you're going to see some of these guys in August.
Nice.
I even think it will be September.
That's awesome. Okay, cool.
Yep. And instead of going from the bottom and working our way up, I'm going to do the opposite. We're going to go to the most exciting things then go to the bottom. Because number one, because the top guy on this list, I believe, deserves his flowers and deserves a longer conversation, just putting him at the end of the list. So the first thing to be excited about, if you're a Twins fan, or what I should be excited about going forward, it's Luke Keaschall. And to be honest, I mean, what was there more to say about what he's been able to do so far in the limited time he has been up here? In 9 games, and very small sample, but 28 at-bats, he has 11 hits. He's hitting almost 400. He's a spark plug. He's been a hitter everywhere he's went. He's only 22 years old. He's going to turn 23 next week. This guy can flat out hit, man. And I know that there is some PTSD in this town with top prospects never living up to build. Or maybe some guys that get off to a hot start like Royce Lewis, and then maybe they get injured, or maybe there's some ineffectiveness. Miguel Sano came up and tore the cover off the ball in 2015, and that was kind of his peak. I mean, he had some peaks and valleys, but we all thought, oh, that's the guy we're going to get for the next 5-10 years. You really didn't get that consistently. The number one thing to be excited about going forward for the rest of the season, it's Luke Keaschall. And in my opinion, it's not really close. He's separated himself from the pack here.
Yeah. It's there is definitely some PTSD from because we've seen the splashy entrance young Twins player thing for 10 years. You going back to Sano, you mentioned him. I mean, even the Edward Julians and Miranda came up and was kind of splashy early. So,
yep.
But Keaschall does seem like a bit of a different type of prospect. Sometimes these guys come up and they're like, Sano's a good example. And in the minors, or even like in college, if for guys that played college, like Keaschall played 3 years in college, they're big strikeout guys, and you're kind of hoping that they can curb that. And like Matt Wallner, big strikeout guy, right? There's examples like that, and that's tough to curb. What I love about Keaschall is he's never really been a big strikeout guy. He puts the bat on the ball, he drives it, he can hit it to all fields. He's athletic, which is something that this organization lacks. He can steal bases. So, and by the way, he's barely played above Double-A. I mean, he played earlier this year. He played 28 games in St. Paul, which is nothing. It's like a month and change in St. Paul, and then he's now played, before and after the injury stint, 9 total games, I think it is, or 10 with the Twins. So he at 22, soon to be 23, he's only played like 37 or 38 games above the Double-A level. So there's a little bit of, all right, is he really just going to click like this without taking the steps like most hitters do? And maybe the answer is yes.
The thing that really stinks about him being hurt in April when he got hit by the pitch and broke his arm is not the fact that, because I've seen a few of these pieces, actually coming off the game a couple nights ago where he hit his first home run, which was, could Luke Keaschall have saved the Twins season if he hadn't got hurt? I don't know. He could have done that. That's a lot to ask of a young man. But what really stinks about it is we would now be seeing the adjustments to him. Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, when the league gets enough on you and they start to adjust, because that's where we sort of separate the guys that are flash in the pans and come up and look great. And then I'm not saying he won't struggle, but I am saying it's very much a cat and mouse game that's incredibly difficult. And that's what I want to see, and I wish that we could have seen that play out. But yeah, hey Dex, where does he project long term to play, as far as position?
I think second.
Okay.
I think second base is where you're going to see him the most. He's played some center. I don't see him playing much of center.
Sure.
First base is open long term in this organization. He's sprinkled in there, but he seems also very athletic to be an everyday, your prototypical. I know we like to lug the big guys as first baseman. He is the opposite of that. I would assume second base, though, is where you'll see him the majority of the time, or DH. Yeah.
Have you ever peaked so he played 2 years in the West Coast Conference for San Francisco in college, and then he transferred to Arizona State. So he was really good at San Francisco, a little bit smaller time, and then got poached by Arizona State. Have you ever peaked his last year in college numbers? In 2023.
Let me guess. So he hit 455.
Not quite that, but I mean, he hit 353 with a 443 on base percentage and slugged 725.
Wow.
He had an OPS of 1167, and that so in 55 games he averaged just under 1 extra base hit per game.
Yep.
In the Pac-12 playing for Arizona State.
He's a hitter, man.
Pedroia vibes, Arizona State,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah, he's just a flat-out hitter. He's a fun guy to watch, too, to the athleticism and the stolen bases part that this team has always lacked. So, yeah, if you're going to target field, outside of, if you get to watch Joe Ryan pitch and Byron Buxton play, who should be hopefully activated from the IL here soon, I would put Keaschall right behind Buxton as well.
And I would say this too, if we sort of take a step back to last Thursday and try to break down the trades and what was what, I would say Luke Keaschall being able to play more because Baldelli doesn't have Castro as an option is absolutely fine. Like if Willie Castro, and look, he did a nice job, but if he needed to be eliminated from the roster to present this opportunity, I would rather go in this direction right now as opposed to this utility guy who's good, but he's a veteran and he's sort of clogging things up. So I actually think that exchange, if that's the exchange, I actually think that's a positive because I think they very much need to see what this kid can do. And he deserves the chance.
Doesn't it kind of feel like, just anecdotally, because poke at the Twins all you want, but they haven't really been in, like they've been trying to win every year, at least to some extent, for the entire duration of Target Field. And that sounds crazy because they've actually lost a ton of games at Target Field. But how many times in like 16 years at Target Field have you gone into a season and the organization is essentially saying, we're the White Sox this year. Like we're gonna take a couple steps back here. They've been pushing to win and they have failed to win at a high level. But this is I feel like these 2 months here, and maybe even next year, depending on what happens with the offseason, let guys grow is my point here. You might have to put up with a little shaky defense here and there for a guy. Like, think back 20 years ago. Corey Koski was not a great defensive third baseman for a while. Justin Morneau was not a great defensive first baseman. And throughout the high levels of the minors, and then as they got their feet wet in the major leagues, you just throw them out there. And now those guys got thrown out there, and Koski came up on some bad teams. Morneau kind of got thrown out there on division winning teams and did figure it out.
Yes.
But just let some of these guys, if Keaschall is not a great defensive second baseman yet, give him some space to figure that out, is my point.
Yeah. Next guy on this list, still on the major league roster, Zebby Matthews. I think Zebby Matthews is a fun one to watch here over the next few months. So let's also peek under the hood here of what Zebby Matthews has done in his second season with the Twins. So you see a 5.17 ERA. He's now made 17 starts in the big leagues. He made 9 last year. He's made 8 so far this year. However, what you're seeing from Zebby compared to last year to this year is, number one, the fastball velocity is up significantly. His strikeout percentage is up significantly. Those are in the 84th, 88th percentile in terms of all starting pitchers. So he is exceeding the expectation in some key categories. Same with walk percentage. He's 83rd percentile. His slider this year has been incredible. Opponents are whiffing on that pitch 43% of the time. So that pitch has been deadly for him. And when you look at some of the peripherals, for example, I mentioned the ERA being 5.17. His field independent pitching number is 2.75. So it's only 8 or 9 starts. It's not extrapolated over a full season, but he's been a lot better than your traditional results have suggested. Where Zebby, I think, has to figure out the next step is the fastball velocity is great, and that's awesome. It's getting hit really hard and getting hit a ton. If he starts to figure that out and starts to mature as that slider develops, as maybe a cutter or changeup, which he also mixes in, develops, I'm really bullish on this guy figuring some things out. I think there's a better pitcher than what you've seen from his normal results, and I'm curious to see the steps he takes over the next 6-7 weeks.
He's an analytical head scratcher in some ways, because like you laid out some of the peripherals. Fielding independent pitching, you might as well reclassify it as your expected earned run average. So essentially, when you say he has a 2.75 fielding independent pitching number, that means his expected ERA over a long sample, if he continues to put up the same K rate, walk rate, etc., would kind of slide into that like 3 or sub 3. But it's sitting 2.5 runs higher right now. The best sign, so the strikeout rate's always been there. He's not a big walk guy, so those are good. If he can sustain those things, awesome. The biggest difference between last year this year is the home run rate. He was, and these are 9 starts last year, 8 starts this year, kind of small sample sizes. But cut down on the home runs, keep the walks down, keep the strikeouts up, and you should be a really good major league pitcher. But he currently has, in the 8 starts, one of the worst hit rates, like hits per 9 or batting average on ball in play, depending on what angle you want to look at, of any regular starter in the big leagues. So is some of that just bad batted ball luck, where these are going to convert to outs, or you got to just get some better fielders in place? Or is he a guy that's just giving up way too much hard contact? That's what they have to figure out long term with him. Is he super hittable and none of this stuff is going to wind up, like the peripherals aren't going to matter because he's too hittable? He's too much in the plate? Or does he smooth some of that stuff out and it evens out? But there are some really good analytical markings for Zebby Matthews.
How much of that too, I guess in a way to go back to our Keaschall discussion, is also about the maturation of opportunity. Because like that's the nice thing here is the one positive about stripping a manager or coach of his core players is he then has to play guys or pitch guys, right? And it feels like there will never be a better time to find out. And also, and we've started to see this, Rocco is now being forced to allow guys to work through things. And instead of seeing them yanked early, they just stay in, which can be a huge positive, especially in a situation like this. So with Zebby, where we're sort of in this, he's doing some things well, but there are some concerning red flags. Can those red flags be ironed out? And in 3 years, we're like, remember when he did this? And now he's a good pitcher. Like these are all of the things that this teardown gives you the opportunity to explore. And there's not the, hey, Pete Mackey, go talk to him and I'm going to yank him soon. There's an actual patience. And I think that patience is absolutely key because now it allows a pitcher, in this case, Zebby, to work through his struggles and figure it out to a certain degree. So I do think that there is a positive in finding things out now that aren't with like, oh, we're trying to get a wild card spot, so we're going to have to take you out for Slappy A in the bullpen.
There's also not a lot of long-term options in the bullpen right now, and it's going to be a lot of tryout and a lot of figuring things out of what your bullpen looks like next season. So letting your starters also go into the sixth inning, see the third time through the order, especially the younger dudes like Zebby or when Festa comes back or Simeon, those are good things. They've been rocking with bullpen games. That's why I think, and good segue here, guys like Zebby, Taj Bradley, who I'm about to talk about, Mick, Abel, they're not going to throw Pearson, Olin, Travis Adams as openers the rest of the season. Like, these guys are going to be up here soon. They're figuring some out. They're figuring out some things. They were sent down from, in my opinion, smarter organizations in the Phillies and the Rays to say, go down and figure some of this stuff out. So now that they get to do that AAA for a couple more starts here, Taj made a great start last night for the Saints. Abel was awesome on Sunday. I'll get into some stuff here that I also want to watch from them. They're not going to have these openers forever. These two dudes are going to come up here and get some starts in the starting rotation.
Yeah, and in the case of like the Phillies and Jays especially, those teams don't have the luxury of saying, you're struggling, that's fine, work through it in the big leagues, right? So, and I do think, I'll say this on the Twins' behalf, I do think it's probably smart to start these guys in AAA just in case to, what's the word I'm looking for, the term, to dumb down the expectations. Because if you have Abel immediately start here, the fan base is going to be like, let's see him pitch. And then he's got a propensity at times to walk the yard. And if he does that, so I like the strategy here. But yes, we're seeing a lot of arms right now that are not necessarily long-term solutions, just sort of fall on the grenade at different times. And I'm with you. I think we start to see this crop of guys that they traded for, the AAA guys / big league guys, come up soon. And at that point in time, I think the pressure will be lessened.
So let's talk about Taj Bradley to start here. So Taj has already shown he can be a major league starting pitcher. Taj Bradley has made 67 starts already in his big league career. Kind of crazy. He came up as a 21-year-old in Tampa, or a 22-year-old in Tampa Bay. He's made 67 starts. His career area 4.7. Like, he hasn't really taken the opportunity and ran with it, but he can show he can be at least a serviceable major league starting pitcher. In the era of swings and misses, Taj Bradley is getting ground balls, man. He gets a ton of ground ball outs. And this is sometimes a rotation that is prone to getting fly balls, right? So I think there's a really solid starter in here. It's probably too early to say his chance of being a frontline 1 or 2 are over. You know, he's 24. He'll be 25 right before the season starts next year. So he's still young enough. There's still time for him to develop a next level to his game. But Taj Bradley is a serviceable major league pitcher. And if he can kind of get a little bit more, maybe swing and miss, or lower that ERA a little bit, I'm excited to see also what Taj Bradley can do.
Yeah. And a lot of guys who come from the Rays just have the Rays have been a pitching factory for 20 years now. And I mean, Joe Ryan came from the Rays pipeline. The Twins have poached and hired people from the Rays pitching pipeline, and Josh Kalk, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And Taj is your, he throws the cutter to righties, throws the split fingers to lefties. So his job is to get ground balls. So and he pumps 97 too yesterday with the Saints. I think he hit 97 on the gun with his 4-seam fastball. So I think there's a really good, serviceable major league pitcher in there, and I'm excited to see him eventually get a chance here with the Twins. On Mick Abel. So Judd kind of alluded to this. He has a problem with walks. He has a problem with control. A career walk rate of 5.5 per 9 innings in the minor leagues. However, not that long ago, he was legitimately one of the best pitching prospects in all of baseball. He was the 15th overall pick in his draft. I think his upside, and maybe it's because we haven't seen him start major league games, is a frontline pitcher. I'm excited to see him eventually get a shot here. He had, again, really solid debut with the Saints. I think allowed just 1 hit in his first start with St. Paul last Sunday. And I want to see him get a shot here to be an everyday pitcher. You know, he's maybe a lot like Joe Ryan when the Twins acquired him. He just made a couple starts. And then ever since September of 2021, Joe Ryan has been in the Twins starting rotation ever since and never went back to the minors. So can Abel figure out a couple things? He might be called up a little later than Taj Bradley because Taj has shown he can pitch in the big leagues. But I think there is a frontline starter in there, and maybe the guy you could be most excited about helping the Twins in 2026.
So is the problem with him control across the board, or are there just moments of, because to your point, it sounds like his first start this year with the Phillies was fantastic. Are there moments of lack of control, but it's not a consistent problem?
You know, so in the 6 starts he made in the big leagues, his walk rate was a little better. His last start with the Phillies came right before the 4th of July. He walked 5 guys over an inning and a third, like just got pummeled, sent down to AAA. Yeah. I'd have to probably dig deeper to see if like that's something that is going to prolong into the big leagues. But walks have been his biggest problem if you're just looking over the hood of his minor league career.
Yeah, he has across his 6 relatively shaky major league starts and his 14 mostly dominant AAA starts this year, he has cut his walk rate in half of what it was in 2024 for AAA Lehigh with Philadelphia. So, 23 years old, honing the control. Probably he's a little bit of the anti-Zebby Matthews in terms of like his statistical profile. He's probably not gonna be a guy that doesn't walk batters. You know, but he's a lot harder to hit too historically, a lot harder to hit home runs off of. I have not really seen him pitch outside of just like some clips here and there over the last week since the trade deadline. But everything about him screams super high end potential, like playoff caliber starter if he reaches his, peak potential. He's a really exciting one. He is. Sometimes he's 6'5", and sometimes it can be a little hard to repeat mechanics and delivery. I mean, Alex Meyer was the ultimate example of that 10 years ago with the Twins. He was also regarded as, I think he was a first-round pick, regarded as one of the best prospects. He was constantly ranking in the top 100, top 50 among Baseball America, and he just couldn't throw strikes because he couldn't repeat his delivery. And I don't know if that's specifically the case, but sometimes when you get these starting pitchers, when they're like just kind of 6'5" lanky guys, it's hard. It's hard to repeat your mechanics.
All right, so a couple more guys on this list, 2 more players left here. But before I do that, a shout out to Element Hotel, just steps away from Target Field. Maybe you're even coming up for a Vikings game. It's in the North Loop. It's still close enough to US Bank Stadium. You can go to scorenorth.com/element2 to get a 15% room rate. You can also see all the happenings and stuff that's in the North Loop, breweries and restaurants. Let's go to scorenorth.com/element for a 15% room rate.
Shout out to Park Dental as well. If you're a new Twins player and you're looking for a new dentist in town, your whole life has been turned upside down. You're living out of a suitcase right now, but you need to get those teeth cleaned and checked. Well, over 50 years, Park Dental has been caring for and cleaning teeth in Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. And so wherever you live in the Twin Cities or Western Wisconsin or work, there's probably a Park Dental location within just minutes. Many of the practices open at 7 a.m., and most are open until 8 p.m. at least one night of the week. So super convenient, whether you are a baseball player or just a regular human being like the rest of us. Go to parkdental.com to schedule your checkup. Parkdental.com.
Baseball.
All right, a couple more dudes on this list to watch for the rest of the season. Plus, we have a random twin of the week before we wrap. Hit the like button, subscribe button too. Thank you to everyone who did that over the last couple weeks here on the SKOR North Twins Show. We still have plenty of things that I plan to talk about. I'll be at Target Field tomorrow to kind of get a vibe check of that new clubhouse, and we'll still be pumping out plenty of Twins content. Next guy on this list, Alan Roden. So Roden hit his first home run with the Twins yesterday in Detroit. He was acquired in the Louis Varland trade. And here's the thing with Roden. Number one, we've seen him play now, or not seen him, but he has 49 games in his big league career. He also has shown in the limited time in left field, he can hang. He is worth +3 defensive runs saved. They said goodbye to Harrison Bader, a center fielder who was playing great left field. So with Roden, he has shown he can play the field a little bit. He just hasn't been able to get a run on a loaded Blue Jays team. He's going to get that here at the Twins. In the minor leagues, this is crazy. I don't know if you guys saw this. He walked as many times as he struck out in the minors. He had a great on-base percentage in the minor leagues of .409. He showed some pop too a little bit. Guys that are not striking out and drawing walks and can hit the ball over the fence, these should be recipes for good major league players. The thing is, we got to go. So Alan Roden is 25 years old. He's turning 26 in December. Sometimes guys take a little while. They're not Luke Keaschall going to come up at 22 and hit the cover off the ball. Mm-hmm. But he has accomplished everything there is to accomplish in the minor leagues. And now we got to go. If you're Alan Roden, let's see it at the major league level. Let's get a good runway here. And we'll see how he fits into the plans in 2026 and beyond.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he's one of those college guys that broke into Abel when he was about to turn 23, and he doesn't have that. What does he have? He's played 130 major league plate appearances. Yeah. So, I think this is one of those guys where you just take the rest of the season and you let him swim or not. Yep. You just throw him out there. Maybe you try some different spots in the lineup, but I feel like he's a guy that should probably be in the lineup almost every day until the end of September just to get some reference points.
And the Varland trade was largely about the southpaw pitcher that they acquired, correct? So this was
Kendrys
a flyer
Rojas
type of guy. Yeah, who I believe
it's a flyer. It's a flyer, but also it's a pretty good player that was in the minor leagues.
He's a third-round pick. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. That was Rojas might be the crown jewel of this, but right. Roden, and look, I think the writing on the wall is Trevor Larnach's not on this team next year. It's another lefty bat who plays left field and can play defense better. Larnach's eligible for arbitration in 2026. I'm not saying they're going to non-tender him because that would be, I think, kind of silly, even though with cost-cutting moves,
actually
maybe it's not as far-fetched.
Pat Mears.
But I think we're probably seeing, if I'm guessing Alan Roden is your starting left fielder if things go well the rest of 2025 and on opening day in 2026.
Yeah. By the way, in terms of just speed, athletic ability, base paths, I haven't studied his base running, route running necessarily, but in the minor leagues, he does have 47 stolen bases to just 7 caught stealings in, I don't know, basically 2.5 seasons. So, yeah, again, it's just athletes. Can you take extra bases? Can you increase the defensive range in the outfield instead of having statues out there? So there's.
Can you go first to third?
Can you go first to third?
I really like going first.
Can you go first to home on a double, maybe, instead of stopping at third base? I know. It's crazy. Can you steal third base once in a while? It did happen a couple weeks ago.
They tried in Detroit, and poor Austin Martin got caught. So, but you know what? I saw the quotes. I like it. Austin Martin, of all of the miscues that he made, and to your point, Phil, he did hit the home run yesterday in Detroit. The Rocco comments, very favorable about, we're telling them to do stuff.
Yeah, let's try some things.
Let's try some things. It doesn't matter. It's no longer costing you a playoff spot because a single turned into a triple because he made a potential mistake.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last thing on this list for a random twin of things to watch the rest of the way. It's Brooks Lee as your everyday shortstop. Mm-hmm. That's the last thing to watch here. He has shown he has some power from the left side of the plate, not as much from the right side. Good bat-to-ball skills. I don't think Brooks Lee is like a 25, 30 home run dude that's ready to be on earth. Now, he's shown he can be a really good hitter, and maybe I'm wrong on that. But he has shown he can have really good bat-to-ball skills. Does he want to change some approach for more power? Does he find better ways to hit some extra base hits? I don't think that power guys necessarily in there, but you've given him now the runway to be your everyday shortstop. And I want to see what he does defensively, but I also want to see if he can mature enough at the plate. So far it's been a little underwhelming, obviously, offensively for him since being called up to the big leagues about a year ago. So watching Brooks Lee play shortstop every day and get the at-bats necessary, I'm excited to see what type of hitter he is.
Brooks Lee might be my number one on your entire list because of the fact now he gets to play short. There's no question about it. Correa's out of the picture. And not to apply too much pressure, but to use the term that you just did, Declan, it is sort of go time here. Like the consistency needs to improve. He's a player who needs to be a foundational piece of this franchise if it's going to be successful in its new makeup. And so I'm actually really excited to see him play short, which I think he can do, get left alone there. He clearly was not comfortable at second. Like his statistics at the plate when he was playing second compared to like short or third, like something was going on there. And I think it was partially comfort. So I am super excited to see Brooks Lee just get left alone and play a position that is one of the most important on the field in baseball.
And I actually do think he can be. I don't think he's going to hit 40 home runs, but I think he could. The fact that he's kind of still feeling his way around the big leagues and is going to stumble into 15 home runs this season.
Sure.
His big. I mean, he can make contact, and that's great. And you need guys who can just not be an automatic strikeout, which they've had lineups where when we talked about the Joey Gallo lineups and Michael A. Taylor. So you need guys who can put the bat on the ball, but it's a lot of weak contact for him. And so are there some little adjustments he can make to just increase his hard hit rate, increase his batting average on balls in play? I know I'm getting way in the analytical weeds, but I don't think he's that far away. If he was striking out 40% of the time, be like, okay, total lost cause. Like Julian has looked like that at times, right? He's putting the bat on the ball. And so I think like the fully realized version of Brooks Lee is a 20 home run guy with a pretty high batting average and a solid glove at shortstop. We'll see.
The future of your team for the remainder of the season, or a huge part of that, is on display. It's going to be on display every night on the left side of the infield.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, want to do a random twin of the week here on the SKOR North Twins Show?
I don't know if you guys are ready. I'm not sure if you guys are ready for this one.
All right.
Oh,
we'll see.
That might be a clue. Might be a clue.
I don't know.
Taking a look at the last few editions of Random Twin we did Scott Baker last week. That tied me with Judd, by the way, with 29 wins apiece. Phil is the all-time leader at 34. Previous editions of Random Twin included Luis Ribas, Kirby Puckett, Mitch Garver, Matt Tolbert, Ruben Sierra.
All right. I've got a bunch of clues here. You guys can shout out guesses whenever you think you know the answer. This will break the tie. Somebody will be back in last place.
How did you miss Scott Baker, Phil?
I feel bad. Yeah. And by the way, I swapped a couple messages with him. I haven't talked to him in over 10 years. I feel terrible. Like I don't know if a lot of people, I think he's been living a pretty private life. His wife tragically passed away after a long battle with ALS. Just
awful.
All-time great guy, Scott Baker, and a great random twin of the week. This random twin was a two-sport athlete in high school, baseball and basketball.
That's it, huh?
Yep. Any guesses?
Play football. It must be like a utility guy who wasn't very good.
No. Keep my poker face here. Let's see. In fact, he was obviously a very good high school baseball player. He posted 1 year in high school a .31 earned run average. .31 earned run average 1 year in high school.
I know how Mackey works. This doesn't mean a lot because.
Yeah, talk it out. Talk it out.
No, I'm stopping right there.
Okay. Just going to keep that inner dialogue internal.
Yep.
Let's see here. This random twin of the week. He finished 9th in Rookie of the Year voting. So like a pretty good rookie.
As a twin.
What was your question?
As a twin.
Do I want to give you that now?
You are.
I'm gonna give it to you at some point.
Thanks.
But not right now. Not right now.
Yeah, you're entitled to shut me down.
I will give you that clue unless somebody guesses beforehand.
Okay. All
I
right.
just feel like it's a little, it's
That's
good
fine.
information.
It's a good question to ask, and it's your right to tell me no.
According to the internet, when he left Minnesota, he recently, or not recently, by the way, the word is reportedly.
Oh.
By the way, I read it wrong.
Yeah.
Recently is not necessarily a clue here or there. I will just tell you that.
Gotcha.
It could be, though. Could be. But the word is reportedly sold his home for $2.4 million, which I feel like is kind of modest. Kind of modest for this random twin.
No.
I feel like this is I feel like that's a major clue because we only know so many homes of former Twins. I feel like we just got a huge clue. Okay.
Yeah. He played 378 career games with the Twins.
Wow. Wowee.
Including 6 playoff games.
Oh, boy. Who the hell is this? Who is this?
This could be...
I love this game.
There's still leeway here. There's a lot of rope-a-doping going on. These are the early rounds, and you're dancing around the ring right now, my friend.
His worst season ever in the major leagues and with the Twins was a .6 WAR. That was his worst season. So he was never a below replacement player.
Okay.
He, by the way, much like Zebby Matthews, 8th round pick. I happened to just peek Zebby Matthews' profile as we were talking about him, and like, these guys were both 8th round draft picks. Very exciting.
Okay.
This random Twins' best season in the major leagues was 6.5 wins above replacement.
Okay.
6.5 wins above replacement. And
very nice.
See real quick here. Was he an all-star that year? He actually wasn't an all-star that year.
Okay.
6.5 WAR. That's a damn good player.
So he did make an all-star game, but shockingly not in the 6.5 WAR season.
Interesting.
He was a 5.2 WAR guy in the year that he made his one all-star game.
Okay. I'm looking at the random Twins list right now. That's what I'm doing. You see me.
Okay.
You know what? I'll take a guess.
Here we go.
Is this Johan Santana?
Johan Santana was not an 8th round draft pick.
Okay.
It is not the random twin of the week. You know what, though? This random twin
No, this can't be him.
did share a clubhouse with Johan Santana at one point or another, or multiple points, perhaps.
Oh.
And I'll give you another one here. When he was whatchamacallit, rookie of the year, third, or what would I say, ninth on the rookie of the year ballot. Some of the other guys on that rookie of the year ballot included Ray Durham, Sean Green.
Hey,
Gary,
Guess. Michael Kadire.
Michael Kadire. It's not correct.
You haven't done him.
You guys both have 2 guesses left each.
You haven't done Michael Kadire.
Okay, you're saying the names. Durham, Sean Green, who else?
Garrett Anderson was on that ballot. Andy Pettit was on that ballot. There was even another twin higher up than this guy on that ballot, which I'll probably tell you at some point.
Anderson.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the $2.4 million modest home price because according to the internet, he made $62 million playing baseball. And if my clue before that wasn't obvious, I'll make it more obvious. He did finish 9th in Rookie of the Year voting as a twin.
Oh, who the hell is this?
That's good. Real good. I like this.
62 career earnings.
It's the 378 games with a Twin, and you've given us the timetable. Let me see here.
Is this AJ Pierzynski?
AJ Pierzynski.
That's a good guess.
Oh, God dang it.
Still a good guess. Still a good
Declan
guess.
is down. If Declan guesses one more time incorrectly,
Yeah, I might let
Judd wins by default.
I might let Declan wind the clock down himself. I might let him do it.
AJ Pierzynski, pretty close on the games there. He did play only 430 games, whatever. He played 430 games with the Twins. But
6.5
I will
is probably that's not
AJ Pierzynski and this random twin also likely broke bread in the same clubhouse.
Okay, hold on.
In fact,
I gotta go back.
they spent a lot of time touching the same baseball.
Okay, but this guy couldn't have played that many games. No. He wasn't a rookie with the Twins.
A lot of time playing catch with each other. A lot of time.
No.
This random twin.
Hold on then. Okay, this is not possible.
Let me see here. This random twin. How aggressive do I want to be on this?
This guy wasn't a rookie as a Twin. Because the house, I feel like the house.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
This is it.
Okay, all right.
This is it right here.
Is this Brad Radke?
The drama right now.
Is it Radke?
The drama.
It's got to be a pitcher.
If Declan gets this wrong, Judd wins automatically.
Okay.
Declan,
Radke.
to move out of last place into second place. Is it Brad Radke? Yes!
Oh, let's go!
Oh!
Brad Radke.
All right.
1995. 9th in Rookie of the Year voting. Marty Cordova won the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
The year that Radke finished top 10.
The 62 million was the only thing hanging me up. I was like, that's a lot of dough for that time period of Twins baseball.
He signed a big contract in like 2001. I mean, he set a record. I think it was a record at the time, or maybe tied like Bob Gibson. 12 consecutive wins in 12 consecutive starts. That was the year that he won 20 or whatever it was, 20 or 21 games.
Third and Cy Young.
And he became kind of a punchline in some cases because he could give up like the first inning home runs, and he wasn't like a power pitcher.
A good pitcher.
But in the heart of the steroid era, that dude was a rock solid starter. My only other clue, and this would have given it away, he once finished third in Cy Young voting behind Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson.
Yeah, that was
that 97 season. So there is.
Okay.
I know we got to get
all right.
here, so.
We got to go.
I'm back. We got to go. Alan Roden, Brooks Lee, we got to go. SKOR North Twins Show. Extra innings episodes coming up this weekend, too.